It's been exactly 1 year since the first part of Attack on Titan Season 4 was released, and we are just a few days away from the start of Part 2. Quite insane, but it's been almost a decade since the first season, and it's about to finally end. We got to a point where the show has nothing to do about what it was at the start. It's not about humanity against Titans anymore, it's about humanity against itself. There's just no right or wrong side, although Eren's side is the only one that's right. Season 4 started out with a completely new side for us, with more backstories, with great new characters, not you, and even with a different studio behind it that totally everyone liked. A really bold move from Isayama to focus on something completely new, and an even bolder move to start the season there, but it just works out greatly. Despite the fact that we don't follow the same characters, it still feels familiar, it still feels like Attack on Titan. We rooted for someone like Falco, despite the fact that he's an enemy from the main character's perspective. It's a huge thing to be able to write someone that isn't on our side, yet we sympathize with. But I guess it's mainly cause he was never shown as the enemy. Everything that happened we followed through his perspective. Unlike when we met someone like Zeke, everyone's first reaction was when we saw him like, monkey talks, monkey drop rocks, monkey does a 360 nose. I feel like the main plot point of the first part wasn't about moving forward with the story, but to understand all the characters, to have a connection with them, to have a slight sympathy towards all characters even if you dislike them. I mean all the characters other than Flock. Through the hundreds of animes I watched, I never seen a character that I dislike more. An important decision, Flock shows up and ruins everything. Like I get that it would have been amazing to have Erwin back. He wanted everything to end there, and you really want him to suffer even more. Following the plan, not Flock. Why problem? Guess who knew about it? Now, unlike for Flock, I feel like everyone has a bit of sympathy for characters like Zeke or Reiner. Despite of how much we hated them for what they did, now at least we can understand why they did it. Yes, it's bad from the perspective of the characters that we followed, but they just did what they thought was good for them, and no one can hate them for that, especially with what Isayama was able to do with Reiner. Probably the most detailed character, yet I feel like no one really cares about him since season 1. Just listen to him for a second, he just wants inner peace. For me, it was quite unexpected to see such a detailed backstory of Zeke, yet it's definitely something that we needed. Zeke is the main villain for the past few seasons, yet we didn't really know anything about him, and it really opened up my eyes at how many characters there are that we don't know anything about, and even more that we will never knew about. Okay, so did you really like Danny? In season 4, the biggest change outside the story was the studio itself, with Studio with not animating it and Mappa taking up on it. Great success or a huge mistake? Well, neither really. People over-exaggerate everything just for some useless likes and upvotes. The animation itself wasn't bad, but it definitely had its flaws. But look at the CGI, it looks horrible. Shut the fuck. Please stop talking about it in such a bad manner. Did we really just forget that this monstrosity existed? Like, don't get me wrong, there are scenes where the CGI indeed looks really bad, but overall it looked fine. Just cause it's not perfect, you are not entitled to harass the animators on Twitter for doing their job. They were already on a strict schedule while being constantly overworked. The last thing they want to see after they get home is death threats from incels that never seen the sun before. It truly made me really mad when I was hearing about this stuff. Yes, I also missed these insane scenes that elevated Isayama's work. I was also mad when I watched the fight between Levi and Zeke. It could have been so much better, and it's totally fine to complain about it. But there's a limit. So anyway, elevate the mood. What I didn't talk about yet. Oh yes, Eren motherfucking Yeager. Say goodbye to Eren Crybaby Yeager, cause now we have Eren Chad Yeager. I don't care what anyone says, I love this Eren. No more I want to save humanity bullshit, he's here to save himself. Eren has to be the character that changed the most throughout these 4 seasons. And yeah, it's really questionable what he's doing. Who is he with? Who is he against? It's just quite impossible to understand him. From the outside, it totally feels like Eren is against his own team, but it just doesn't feel right. I don't think he's doing everything alone cause he's selfish, but cause he wants to do everything by himself. he doesn't want his friends to suffer anymore. But it's entirely possible he's actually just against everyone and he just knows something no one else does. Maybe it's Zeke that controls him. Maybe it's Ymir. Probably neither. What I really liked about Eren in the first half of season 4, that when he was talking with Falco, he was still the same person. He was acting the same way as usual. On later episodes, it feels like he just puts on an act or just doesn't talk at all cause he's socially awkward and he doesn't know how to fake it. There are just so many sides, so many plans, so many characters that it's just impossible to understand what will happen, and that's what makes it so good. There's Zeke to do a rambling and an euthanasia? I don't know. Basically, with Eren's founding Titan power and with his royal blood, he wants to wake up all the Titans that are inside the walls and scare the rest of the world with it, so they are safe for the next few decades while they can improve the whole nation so they can defend themselves in the future. But there is also this euthanasia plan which, if I remember correctly, only Zeke and Eren knows. It's a plan where they want all the Eldians to die out peacefully so there won't be any Titans anymore. On the other side we have the warriors and the Marleyans, who, as we saw in the last episode, they are on Paradis Island and they are still trying to get back the power of the founding Titan. They also try to save Gabi and Falco cause they are the last two remaining warriors. If they can't save them, then they won't have anyone trained to become the next armored Titan or just any other Titan. We can't forget about the survey corps and the military police, but neither of them is in a situation that would allow them to make any sort of decision. One wrong move and everyone in the military police will turn into Titans, but I guess with the price of Falco also turning into one. The survey corps is locked up by Elena, but I mean it won't hold them back any more than it did Eren. Obviously there's also Eren, who wants to do the same plan as Zeke, but most probably he has his own plan. If I would have to guess, I would say that he wants to eat all the Titans, then do a Reiner classic. So there won't be any Titans anymore. But I mean, it's kind of pointless cause manga readers already know what will happen and there's really no point in theorizing. We also have Flock and the Yeageris that wants to do whatever Eren's plan is, which is basically the majority of Eldians. I feel like if Erwin would be alive, none of this would have happened. I kind of miss him. There are also individual characters such as Levi, who we don't know if he's alive or not. I would say he is. But this is Attack on Titan and there's no such a thing as plot armor. We have Annie, who we didn't see for one whole decade. There's no way her story will end like that. And I really hope she will be on the side of the survey corps. I feel like with how much time Army spent talking to her, he might have convinced her to change sides. We also have this Hizuru clan that either will help us out to defend Paradis Island, or they just won't show up ever again. I can't really see them having an important role if they won't help us. There is also Ymir, who will have a major role in the next part for sure. It's one of the most important sides of the story that we don't really know anything about. Also, I feel like she has a lot more control over the Titans than we think. I don't think the Titans know that. I don't think it's like a secret that they can't share, but I feel like she might be controlling their mind in some way. There are just so many things to talk about and I would be here for 5 hours if I could. I'm so excited for the final part. It's been a long time since I was truly excited for an anime and I can't wait to talk more about it.
Fuck it up, hit me up, baby too sweet, little buttercup. Go with us, doing drugs, I don't wanna say it more than once. How do I get so much? Baby I do enough. Drink another, what's up? Drink another, what's up?